Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. There is no coming to consciousness without pain. A man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Every form of addiction is bad, no matter whether the narcotic be alcohol, morphine, or idealism. Man needs difficulties. They are necessary for health. In all chaos there is a cosmos, in all disorder a secret order. The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. As far as we can discern, the sole purpose of human existence is to kindle a light in the darkness of mere being. Everything that happens once can never happen again, but everything that happens twice will surely happen a third time. A dream that is not understood remains a mere occurrence. Understood, it becomes a living experience. Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness, and the word happiness would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. We cannot change anything unless we accept it. Loneliness does not come from having no people around you, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to you. Shame is a soul-eating emotion. The pendulum of the mind oscillates between sense and nonsense, not between right and wrong. A creative person has little power over their own life. They are not free. They are captive to their talents. Where love rules, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, love is lacking. To confront a person with their shadow is to show them their own light. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. The greatest tragedy of the family is the unlived lives of the parents. What you resist persists. It all depends on how we look at things, and not on how they are in themselves. The healthy man does not torture others. Generally, it is the tortured who turn into torturers. The soul demands your folly, not your wisdom. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. The collective unconscious contains the whole spiritual heritage of mankind's evolution. There is no light without shadow, and no psychic wholeness without imperfection. Symbols are the language of the soul. Dreams are the guiding words of the soul. Life really does begin at 40. Up until then, you are just doing research. for better to come, good must stand aside. The creation of something new is not accomplished by the intellect but by the play instinct. The greatest and most important problems of life are fundamentally unsolvable. We meet ourselves time and again in 1,000 disguises on the path of life. In each of us, there is another whom we do not know. Wholeness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being, but by integration. The brighter the light, the darker the shadow. Creative power is the result of the ability to understand opposites. The psyche is a self-regulating system. Children are educated by what the grown-up is and not by his talk. We are not what happened to us, we are what we choose to become. Resistance to the organized mass can be effected only by the man who is as well organized in his individuality. The dream is the small hidden door in the deepest and most intimate sanctum of the soul. What you discover in your shadow, you will uncover in your life. The foundation of all mental illness is the unwillingness to experience legitimate suffering. No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell. Every individual is the exception to the rule. The unconscious is not just evil by nature, it is also the source of the highest good. What is essential is invisible to the eye. The psyche is a great mystery, containing the infinite within the finite. Man's task is to become conscious of the contents that press upward from the unconscious. In solitude, we give passionate attention to our lives, to our memories, to the details around us. The symbols of the self arise in the depths of the body. Nothing has a stronger influence psychologically on their environment and especially on their children than the unlived life of the parent. Where your fear is, there is your task. To ask the right question is already half the solution of a problem. The world will ask you who you are, and if you do not know, the world will tell you. Life is a battleground. It always has been, and always will be. And if it were not, life would come to an end. The unconscious mind is not a blank slate, but a repository of collective memory. Without emotions, life would be a gray wasteland. A man is ill not when he is unbalanced, but when he does not strive to rise above his imbalance. The soul is like a fine wine. It ages beautifully if cared for, or sours if neglected. We carry our past with us and are unconsciously controlled by it.